Hey, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thanks for hanging out on a Thirsty Thursday. We had the neck review on the short, if you saw it, of the George Dickel. So we're gonna do a long review of that. So I've heard some people kind of not be thrilled when they hear the word Dickel. So let's talk about it for a little bit. So George Dickel, Tennessee whiskey, bottled and bond. So bottled and bond, of course, as you may know from watching the channel, that means it's going to be at 100 proof. That means it meets certain governmental classifications. Is that the right word? Probably not the right word. But anyway, requirements. Let's go with requirements. So it meets certain government requirements, and it's able to be labeled as bottled and bond. And so you know it's met some high standards. Oh, here we go. We got on the side of this George Dickel, we got a little history lesson. Bonded under law. The Bottle and Bond Act of 1897 is an old law, but it's an important one to know. To be considered bonded, the whiskey must be from a single distillation season and distillery. It must be aged for at least 4 years, and it must be unaltered from its original character, except using pure water to reduce proof to 100 degrees. This batch of, I would say proof, degrees? I don't know, I'll have to look that up. Do you use degrees when you're talking about alcohol? Anyway, to reduce the proof to 100 degrees. This batch of George Dickel you're holding abides by this law. If you have any doubts, just give us a call. We'll vouch for it personally. I should call him. Anyway, so this says the distilling season of this was fall of 2008. So we're in 2023, right? We're almost in 2024, but you know we're at the end of fall 2023, beginning of winter 2023. So math, simple math. Chief, help me out. So 15 years. So this was distilled in 2008. Then it was stuck in a barrel so they could age it. Distilled and charcoal mellowed at Cascade Hollow Distillery, Tullahoma, Tennessee. And of course, it marks that it's 50% alcohol, 100 proof. It's been aged 13 years. So 2008, either they didn't barrel it right away, which seems confusing. So if they barreled it right away, and then 13 years after 2008 would be, what, 2021? So they must have bottled this in 2021 after it had aged for 13 years. Of course, the age statement has to be the minimum, so maybe it was bottled this year, and it actually is 15 year in here, even though they just have it listed under the 13-year label. So that could be. Oh, a little more history here. In 1870, George A. Dickel began the journey leading to the creation of the best Tennessee whiskey around. Subjective. George discovered that his whiskey made in the cold winter months tasted smoother. Cool. Finest quality, ain't nothing better. Finest quality sipping. Today we follow this tradition by chilling our whiskey before filtering it through super maple charcoal. We think our unique chilled filtration process we think our unique chilled filtration process makes a fine whiskey. Hope you agree. Number 4. This Bottle and Bond release is a one-of-a-kind sourced from barrels laid down during a single distilling season and selected at peak maturity for a taste that's unique, complex, and bold. Kind of like the people who made it. Ooh, it's got some ego. Well, you know what? Hey, if you got confidence, you can sell anything. So George Dickel, Bottle and Bond, come for the moonlight, stay for the whiskey. George would want you to. Oh, interesting. Distilled and aged by Cascade Hollow Whiskey Company in Tullahoma, Tennessee, but it is bottled in Plainfield, Illinois. So their bottling plant must be there. What are these things? Are those dates? Those are codes, so I'm not sure what that means. What else do we got? Anything else? Serving facts. Don't need to worry about that. Drink responsibly. Yes, please drink responsibly if you decide to drink. So the bottle's not bad. It's got a good shape. It's got George Dickel raised in the glass. It's got a cork top. So all good things. So what caused me to buy this, and I got an 8-year back here. And what's the proof on that? That's a 90 proof. I got an 8-year back there. I got a 13-year here. What caused me to do that is I was involved in a blind flight on Stuff and Whiskey's Patreon, and if you're into bourbon, they're a nice channel to follow. And I was in a blind flight with them, so I didn't know what I was drinking, and one of the particular samples I liked more than the others, but it was funny because of the group that we were blind sampling with. I was one of the few that liked that. Everyone else was kind of disgusted with it, and it turned out that it was a Dickel 18. So, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. And then when I made my purchase of this, the vaults, stupid thing's $240, but it's so delicious, man, and I drank that a bit fast. But you know what? That's the best part of drinking whiskey, is drinking with your friends, and that's what I did with this bottle, so I don't mind. But anyway, so even though this says age 14 years, there is Indiana and Tennessee whiskey in here, and what the internet tells me is that the Tennessee whiskey is Dickel, and it's possibly 18, 19, 20-year-old Dickel in there. And then the Indiana whiskey is from MGP. I can't remember if they've changed their name to Ross and Squibb. Everyone still just calls them MGP. And that is where the 14-year comes in, because you can't put, you have to put the lowest aged whiskey. If you're going to age state it, it's got to be the lowest aged whiskey in there. So even if there's 19, 20-year-old Dickel in there, they can't call it a 19 or 20-year-old whiskey. They have to go by the 14-year-old MGP whiskey in there. So that sample that I had gotten in that blind flight tasted very similar to that, and I love that bottle. Now that bottle was a little better than the sample that I was provided, but just got me thinking about Dickel. So I got a couple of them, and I'm going to keep an eye out for some 15 years, some 18 years. I'm going to see what I can find. Now for me, when I smell a Dickel product, or that Widow Jane, which is partially Dickel, I get cherries, and I can get a doughy, buttery nose, and I usually get it on the taste as well, and I'm getting all that. So I've got like cherries, and I've got burnt sugar, and I've got like a bread and butter going on in this Dickel. It's really pleasant, in my opinion. Let's see what we got. That's very interesting. So that Widow Jane 14, the vaults, is definitely better than this Dickel 13, but it's got all those notes in there that I love. So, should I decide not to buy another bottle of the Widow Jane, I know that I can at least get this 13, and I won't get the same experience, but it'll be a little bit close. It's very interesting to me. I should probably do a blind flight of these two Dickels and the Widow Jane before I run out. Further nosing's getting me the same notes that I'm getting. Maybe the burnt sugars maybe creeping into a vanilla range, but it's still a sweet smell. And then I got the cherries, and I got the buttery bread. And it's not really buttery bread, it's buttery bread dough somehow. So somehow you've got some raw dough, and you've just for some reason decided not to cook it, and you melt some butter and put it on it, and you take a bite. That's what I'm smelling. On this second smell that I'm doing, I do get, or nosing, whatever you want to call it. On this second nosing, I am getting just a little hint of the oak. So, being in an oak barrel for 13 years, you're going to pick up some of that oak. Might be the tannins in it, whatever it is. So I'm getting that, but it's so mild compared to the rest of these smells that it's not bothersome at all. Some people like oak. I kind of like the oak, maybe because I'm a woodworker. Like these cabinets are oak. So, I've got a thing for oak. Things can be over oaked though. Although, I love, that's another blind flight we're going to do sometime. I got Jim Beam double oaked, I got Woodford Reserve double oaked, I got a Sagamore Spirit double oaked. I might get one or two more double oaks of some sort and blind them and see how it goes. for me, all the flavors are there. So it comes in with like the cherry vanilla taste, and then it slowly kind of gives me like the oak, like I could taste the wood just a little bit, not overpowering. Then as I swallow it and like the whiskey releases my mouth from its grip, then the butter comes in, like a sweet buttery note comes in. And then actually, as I'm talking, on the back of my throat, I get like a black pepper. So there's like a little bit of spice in there even. There's not much of a Kentucky hug. Third nosing. I'm getting just a little bit, just a hint of a cinnamon on this third nosing. Along with all those other flavors are there. And I think it's kind of what I thought was like an oak smell. The oak is gone, so I think the oak has transformed into like a bit of cinnamon on this third nosing as I get acclimated to the pour. All right, we're about 12 minutes into this video, so if you've lasted this long, in the comments put, let's see, 12 times 12 is 144, so put gross in the comments, since 144 of something is a gross. All right, third tasting. Third tasting is same as the second. Comes in sweet, turns into some oak a little bit, and then as I swallow, I get sweet butter, and then a little bit of spice on the back end. But again, no Kentucky hug on that. I think it's very enjoyable, and it's not that expensive. It's like $50. I don't know how available it is. I know that there's some locally. The local liquor store, the Giant Eagle, has a liquor store inside it, a couple miles from here. So I don't know how available it is, but I'll certainly. I'm probably not going to drink through it super fast, but I mean, I got a big collection here to slowly sift through. But I will probably replace that one as it gets close to being done. I wouldn't mind having a backup of that, if I remember correctly. And I don't even know if I must have done a neck pour video. So I got the Dickel 8 there. I have to go back to that and see if that's a bottle that I would do. You know what? Let me scroll through real quick. Let me see if I did. Never mind. I don't have time. You don't want to see me scrolling through my phone looking for stuff. Let's see. Anything special coming up? No, not really. So I know I never reached, based on my live stream that I had, I know I haven't reached 25 emails. I maybe like 12, 15 emails for people for merch, and I promised 25 pieces of merch. So if you haven't sent me an email yet, and gonna give you a big clarification that the merch is gonna be slow, because I'm so busy right now that I can't really spend the time to really do the merch. I have found out that, at least according to YouTube, another fella used the laser engraver that I have to etch glass. So I'm definitely doing some glassware. But I've got a limited number of hats. I'm going to get some t-shirts printed up. I will be doing glassware. And actually with the etching, I don't know, there's a bunch of different stuff I can etch. Maybe coasters if you want. But let me know what you're interested in merch-wise. And like I said, we've still got at least 10 people that can get merch, according to the requirements I put on myself for reaching 250 subs. I said 25 pieces of merch. So if you haven't emailed me for your piece of merch yet, please email me at heyizzo@yahoo.com. And as soon as the 25 is reached, then I'll make a note in the various videos that the contest is over. And again, if you've already emailed me about merch, please forgive me. just a little bit busy, a little bit overwhelmed. Probably after January, I might be a little bit of an easier schedule. But I've got Florida work coming up, I've got Texas work coming up, I've got a bathroom to do for a friend. That'll probably happen in January here in Ohio. So a lot of work coming up, and I still have stuff I got to plan. I got a basement remodel that I have to plan for, and I have a bathroom in Philly that I need to plan for some very, very lovely friends / customers / viewers. So that's all I got for you on this Thirsty Thursday. But if you're working, work safe. If you're drinking, drink responsibly. It's very important to drink responsibly and be safe. But if you do everything with a little bit of whimsy, you're gonna have a good time. Thanks for hanging out with Izzo. I'll see you next time you're here at his place.